FEMA will tell you that the Waffle House index really isn't their index, and that was just me trying to be folksy. But it actually started in Hurricane Charlie. I'd been out on several disasters, and the thing I could just it was just accepted was if there was anything open, it was going to be a Waffle House. But in Charlie, we had gone down to Charlotte County, and I ended up staying down there for about 2 weeks. So we'd get up around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, try to find something to eat, and we'd spend the rest of the day working. And, we're doing 18-hour days, so if you didn't get breakfast, you may not eat. The first morning we get up, and we were down near Fort Myers. We had to get on the interstate and head south because there was nothing open where we were at. And the first thing we get to is Waffle House. We go in, sit down, and this lady comes out with a mimeograph menu. You're so used to the big plastic menus, and I already knew what I was going to order. But she says, the only thing we have is on this. And that was like, well, okay. And so we ordered, but, we got coffee, we got our eggs, we got a good breakfast. But it wasn't everything you would normally expect there. Next morning we get up, and the actual interchange we're at now, Waffle House was now open. Went in there, same deal, mimeograph menu. So the folks I was with, Ben Nelson, who was our state meteorologist in 2004, he's now with the Jacksonville Weather Service office as a forecaster there. And at that time, Major Tad Warfel, now Colonel Warfel with the Florida National Guard, with me. And we were color coding the counties after Charlie, red, yellow, and green, using a stoplight to show indicators, EOC activation, search and rescue, schools, stuff like that. And they put into the slide deck the Waffle House index. And that's where it came from. Green was open with a full menu, yellow was open with a limited menu, and red was closed. And I guess it would have stopped there, except we had changed how we operated in Florida. We weren't waiting for the counties to do assessments to say they needed help after these hurricanes, because I kept asking, well, why don't we just respond like it's bad? We'll get there faster, and if they don't need us, we'll go home quicker. Well, the question was, if you're responding out on the Panhandle, like with Hurricane Ivan, and you're driving out I-10, and literally we were going right as soon as the hurricane force winds passed, I told guys, we're going to be safe, but we ain't going to stay dry. We're not waiting for blue skies. So we were going right as the storm was moving out. And the question was, where do you stop? And that was kind of how the Waffle House index got used. If you got there and the Waffle House was open, it ain't bad. Keep going. If you get there and the Waffle House is open, but they got a mimeograph menu, well, we're dealing with power outages. We probably got a lot of mass care issues. But for the search and rescue teams, don't stop. Keep going. And if you get there and the Waffle House is closed, that's going to be pretty bad. Go to work. And it just kind of became the shorthand. In Florida, it seemed like all these hurricanes going across the interstate, the Waffle House was a pretty good indicator of what was happening. And the other thing, because we never really talked to the Waffle House, about them getting open and all the stuff they do to stay open. It was just our shorthand for where do we stop and go to work when we're driving in the areas, because you'll start seeing damages 100 miles out with a hurricane, but that's not where the impacts are the worst. And so it just became a shorthand for us of, where do you go to work in a hurricane?